Hi, welcome to the April show of Shalom Ottawa. My name is Benita Sinyatiki, and this is the time that we start to think about summer, and summer means summer camp. And our first guest is Michael Polowin, who is chair of the Campany Brith of Ottawa board. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, and for me it's always summertime.
Can you describe the activities that go on at camp?
You name it, we do it. I mean, we have the traditional specialty activities. So kids are instructed by qualified instructors in swimming, in canoeing, water skiing, and sailing. Those are the water-based activities. We have instructors in tennis. We have instructors in arts and crafts, in drama, in music, and in dance. And so those are the traditional specialties. They also do a lot of activities with their units, and their cabins. And so in that they'll do everything from more sports-related activities, football, baseball, those kinds of things. They'll also do creative programming. They'll put on plays. They'll play capture the flag, or they'll have counselor hunts. They'll have bonfires. Mm-hmm. They'll have overnight trips. We have a full tripping staff, and so kids go on canoe trips. And they'll have Judaica. Really, it's up to the creativity of our programming staff, our cabin staff, to come up with wonderful and creative programming. So I remember one that we used to call unaccountably Hogan's Heroes. I don't know why we called it that. But the object of the exercise was you'd plant two counselors up on top of a cabin so they didn't have a really good view of who the kids were. And the kids would one by one have to disguise themselves and walk into the cabin. And the object of the exercise was the kids were trying to disguise themselves so well that the counselors couldn't figure out who they were as they walked into the cabin. And that was always a lot of fun and a big hit with the kids. So, you name it, we do it.
How is Judaica introduced?
We introduce it through a variety of ways. We have Oneg Shabbat start with kashrut. The camp is strictly kosher. It's supervised by the Ottawa Vada Kashrut. We have our chef is also qualified as a mashgiach, and he is just fabulous. As well, the Vada Kashrut come up. Rabbi Teitelbaum comes up on a weekly basis, or more than a weekly basis, to supervise what's going on there. Mm-hmm. In the dining hall, before and after every meal, Hamotzi is said, and Birkat HaMazon is said. We observe Shabbat with the lighting of candles and the making of Kiddush and the celebration of an Oneg Shabbat. Saturday morning there are services. On Tisha B'Av there are services, and there's also creative programming to try and drive home the message of Tisha B'Av to the kids. I remember years ago when I was there in the 70s, there was a fabulous religious director, a guy named Richard Levine, who now actually works for OU in the United States. He got our Pathfinder unit, the 15-year-olds, to build a kotel out of great big heavy stones. They spent all day the day before Tisha B'Av building this thing. And he said, and they built it right at flagpole in front of our dining hall. He said, I'll stay with it just to watch it overnight, make sure nothing happens to it. And the next morning, the Pathfinders got up, very proud. They were waiting for the camp to see this kotel, and it was destroyed. Okay. And Richard, in turn, it turns out, had done it just to drive home the message. Okay. So we also have shlichim from Israel that come over. So we have cultural contact with Israel, and we also every year bring in kids from the Israeli victims of war, 12 to 14 kids, to maintain contact with Israel as well.
Okay. What are the dates?
This summer, sure, you asked me a question that I don't know off the top of my head. I'm going to tell you it's June the 28th, which is a Sunday. It's always a Sunday to Sunday. June, the last Sunday in June, so this year it's the 28th to the 16th of August.
For the first session?
For the
7th session.
For the full session. So we subdivide that into 2 weeks for starter campers. So that would be the 28th to, I believe, July the 12th. We also have a first half session, so that would end 24 days. That would be July the 22nd. And then the second half starts on the same day.
Starts right away. Okay.
Yeah.
What if parents are a bit daunted by the cost, if they can't afford it? Are there any provisions?
Absolutely. Well, let's start with
we have to kind of make it fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with financial assistance. Our camp's primary mission is to provide camping to kids who can't afford it. So we have a full and very confidential financial assistance process. But as well, we have a fabulous new program this year brought to us by the Federation together with the Foundation for Jewish Camping out of New York, which offers $1,000 grants to first-time campers who meet the criteria. They must never have been to a Jewish camp, and they can't be currently attending a Jewish day school because it's intended as a first-time immersive experience in the Jewish community. But that will help people regardless of their financial need. If they don't need it, they still get the $1,000 grant if they meet the criteria.
And just last question for a contact information.
www.cbbottawa.com.
Perfect.
And the director 2449210 here in Ottawa. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Michael, for coming in, and I wish you a very successful summer.
Thank you.